Hey everybody, this is the new interview for AI creators for creating Comfy, creating custom workflows. And a while ago, when I was researching a specific workflow or solution to a Comfy workflow for seamless textures, I stumbled upon this really cool YouTube channel. And the creator of the channel is Amir Ferdos. And
Yeah.
he is, he is delivering very, very cool workflow. So I really, really wanted to expose this brilliant artist. So without further ado, Amir, welcome and thank you for your welcome for joining me on this interview. So can you tell us something about yourself?
Okay. At first, thank you, Luca, for inviting me. Yeah, actually, it's a while that I am working as a 3D artist and making 3D modeling, animation, rendering for architectural project or product visualization. And in the past 2 years, I start to having a deep dive into the stable diffusion for using the power of the stable diffusion exactly in my job. So mostly I try to focus to solve some problems. For example, creating seamless textures or post-processing the renders or generating design idea. At first, I thought that maybe writing a good prompt can solve my problem. But after that, I figured out, no, it's not about only writing a prompt. So after that, I thought, okay, maybe it will be about training and using some LoRa. And after that, I figured out, no, it's not about the LoRa. So I found the control net, and so I figured out that it has a very high potential for making our drawing and pixel and conditionings and injecting them into the stable diffusion to make some ability for us to control the power of the AI. Because already I know the AI is very powerful. For example, some models like Stable Diffusion 1.5, still after 3 years, I think they have very high potential for exploring and using them. So I decided to learn how the Stable Diffusion is working, what is the training progress, and what is the unit, what is the VAE, what is the clip text encoder, what is the token, what is the embedding, and because based on my idea, at first I should understand how it's working. And after that, I can adopt the system based on my requirement. So also I learned everything about 3D um, with self-study
So you
during the past
learned
20 years.
you first
3D
learned
softwares.
3D. You
Yeah,
first
yeah.
learned 3D and which software do you use? Did you use?
I start to working with 3D Studio Max version 3 or version 4.
Opa.
At that time, it was a company with the name of Discrete. After that, the Autodesk came to the game. They bought the Discrete company and they start to release the um, 3D Studio Max under license of the Autodesk. But at this moment, when I am talking to my friend, I am telling them only some dinosaurs like me are still working with 3D Studio Max. Because at this moment, some softwares like Blender and many other new softwares are much more flexible and powerful. But during these years, I understand that designing some procedural systems is very important. It's not related that I am 3D artist, accountant, AI artist, or any other thing. In every industry, um, it's very important to design some procedural system, and you should be able to customize your workflow um, in every industry. So when I started working with stable diffusion, at first I start to use and work with automatic 1111, but it was very fun and interesting for me. But I think there was a problem. Uh, there were not enough opportunity for me to understand the concept and understanding, for example, how it's working. For example, when you're working with automatic 1111, maybe it's very hard and complicated to understand that each checkpoint has three different parts: unit trained data, the clip text encoder, and also the VAE. But in the Comfy UI, the first thing that you see is input and output. So it is a very good sign for everyone to go deeply and follow, okay, what is the output of the model? Why this is the output of the model? What is this? What kind of information is in this output? What is clip? What is VA? Or how it's working? So thank you from Comfy Anonymous that, yes, that they released this great interface for
Yeah, I think that when you start using Comfy UI, you actually start to understand how everything is working. Because with automatic
exactly.
1111, you press the buttons and nice pictures come out, but you
Mhm.
don't know what's behind this, right? And Comfy UI actually exposes everything, what's under the hood. So you can actually decide for yourself what are you going to use. And you play with it like with Lego bricks. You put this here, you put this over there, and all of a sudden it works. But yeah,
Yeah.
as you said, you need an extensive knowledge and do a lot of research to actually understand what's going on. So, did you learn all of this just by playing with Comfy, or did you get some online help, or did you read anything, or did you just throw yourself inside and just explore and discover, pressing buttons, playing with pasta and see what happens?
Yeah. Actually, I learned many things from YouTube. Yeah,
As me,
because
as have I. Yeah, exactly.
there are many great content on the YouTube, and if you're interested, now it's possible to collect all the knowledge from the YouTube. Because, for example, when at first I tried to understand that what is the token and what is the embedding and exactly how they are working and what are the mechanisms that text encoder will decide to make some embedding for us. But after that, I saw some great video on YouTube. Maybe after that, I can share the links with you because I think they could be very insightful for other people. For example, I figured out, oh, okay, this is some mathematical formulation for calculating the probability of each number. And after that, they are designing some other solution for filtering the numbers, finding some pattern in the numbers, and mapping the numbers into the tokens for using with transformer technology. So after that, for example, I can see, okay, there are some other patches or extensions that can go inside the unit and help the unit. They are helping the unit for controlling the process. For example, like IP adapter. IP adapter exactly converting the image input into some embedding. Those embeddings will go inside the unit, so they will try to define the style or composition or other aspect of our image. So this is the way that I'm trying to understand
Yeah, so
that
can you
how.
explain very briefly what unit is, what VAE is? Because a lot of people watching my channel, a lot of people watching this video probably don't understand what's going on, and they're really keen to learn. So can you explain briefly what do you understand behind unit, VAE, IP adapter, and such?
Yeah, I think actually there are different level for understanding. Okay.
Yeah, so let's make it like 15-year-old will understand, okay?
Yeah, also for me, because I am not AI specialist, just I'm trying to figure out how the computer is working with AI, how it is able to taking some decision, and how I am able to control the image generating, because I think the success is having enough power to control the image. This is the most important part. So yeah, actually, unit, I think they designed the unit in 2016 for recognizing some cancer from the photos. And it was a great architecture because at first they are sending some image into the system for analyzing. They are applying, I think, 7 different filter. The filter names is image core, and it's something like high contrast, low contrast, edge detection, and many other things. And all those pixels in 2D space will be turned into the numbers because those images are in grayscale color. Okay. And the computer can finally, with the help of transformer. Okay, I can't understand how deeply the transformers are working, but I understand that the computer is trying to recognize some pattern in the numbers and mapping the pattern into the prompt or into the token or into the word. And after that, finding some relation between the words and the objects that we have inside the image. And for example, when we are talking about the unit, exactly, it's similar to the U-shape. And it has, for example, some different layers. I think the minimum layers of the unit is 12 different layers, but in some models, they are less or more. Based on my experience. I tried to explain that for myself. And they are trying to send the image, analyzing the image, and they are doing this, applying and analyzing and applying the filter in some different levels. For example, the first level, they are processing the image in big resolution. For example, for SDXL, they are processing in, for example, in 1024 in 1024 pixel. After that, they are making the image very, very smaller and again, processing. So after comparing all the result, they are able to understand, okay, for example, what is the context of this image based on the prompt that we entered into the system, because it's something like mapping and equaling some pattern of numbers into the image subject. So, for example, when we are looking to some image from very far away or with very, very small size, for example, we can recognize, okay, I can see a human inside the image. But if we zoom into the image, we can see, okay, for example, this human has some hair or mouth or ears or other parts. And if we do some more zoom, we can find more details about the face. So this is basically, it was very fun for me to understanding how it's working. And also it helped me to understand that why stable diffusion is not able to generate, for example, great photo with many, many faces in the picture. Because each object that has many, many sub-elements should process in some big space. And if it is a small object and it has, for example, 30 pixel in 30 pixel dimension in my image, the stable diffusion is not able to find and best the best pixel arrangement for making the image. And after that, I understand, okay, so when I am upscaling some image, it can make some opportunity for the stable diffusion to process exactly that part in higher resolution. And after that, it can scale down the image and put it on the same position.
All
These
right,
are,
Amir,
I think,
I have to jump in because we only have 2 minutes of this video. So I will
mhm.
end this and I will send you another link where we can continue our talk. Are you okay?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, perfect. See you in a bit.
Okay.
Um, uh, there we go.
Mhm.
All right, so thank you for your explanation of those terms. I think that a lot of people are a bit more clear what all those things are about. So would you like to present your workflow that you really want to expose?
Uh, yeah, I think maybe it would be
Let's start
interesting. So,
with the workflow that I came upon across on your YouTube channel. Guys,
mhm.
definitely check out his YouTube channel. I will put the link in the comments. So
Okay, great. Thank you.
yeah. So Amir, go ahead.
Okay, so please let me share my screen. Um, Now I think it's sharing, yes?
Yes, it is. Can you just
Okay.
explain briefly what's going on? No need to go into specific
Mhm.
notes, but just explain what it does, because I think this workflow is a lifesaver for a lot of 3D artists and
Mhm.
for building textures. And
Yeah,
it definitely helped me understanding what it's all about and helping me create textures that I used in a specific project. So Amir,
mhm.
please.
Okay, great. So I designed this workflow actually for solving the problem, but still the result needs some manual tuning. Okay, but it helped me a lot to understand that exactly how the conf is working. So at first, let me start by some empty latent image. Um, the first rule about the size of the latent, okay, because the size of the latent should be dividable into the 8. And this is something that we are ignoring when we are sending some image for processing. Okay, so the first thing that I try to solve that is making some manual position solution to making the image size compatible with latent standard.
So
So
basically,
by
you can put inside any image with any resolution, and this group of nodes will shrink or crop the image into the proper size that can be worked with
yeah,
Stable Diffusion model.
yeah, exactly. And for example, now you can see the output. So all these numbers, you can divide all of them to the 8, and the result is integer. So this was the first step. So after that, I tried to find some solution to applying and making equalize filter inside the Comfy UI. Because traditionally for removing the shadow from the image in some software like Photoshop or other thing, at first we should get some average color from image. Okay, this is the standard solution. And also we need some high pass filter. Okay. Uh, but actually there were some problem inside the Comfy UI. The only extension, the only extension that can provide the high pass filter is WAS node suite. And unfortunately, the high pass filter inside this extension is not working correctly. And finally, I found that if I make one high pass filter, inverting the result, and make another high pass filter without inverting the result, and blending it both to result with image blend, I can get this output. Okay, so this is the desired output for having a high pass filter. But actually you should know that what you want. And you should have some reference for comparing that. And because previously I did these steps manually in Photoshop, it was very clear for me that what should be the correct image. Because in the high pass filter, we should see enough detail in highlight area and also in darken area. So finally, by having the correct high pass filter and having a average color, you are able to removing the shadow from your image. So here you can see between the left and between the right, there are the minimum change if you want to compare the brightness. So by adjusting the radius and the effect of the high pass filter, also you can get some more different result. The next step is adding some padding around your image for making some seamless texture. So this node can make some padding for me, and these are some padding. But after that, for processing these paddings, I should make some transformation and offset into the image. And I did that by using this node. And I searched a lot for finding many different extensions. But this node from this extension was worked perfect for me. And it's working based on percent number. So I can have this image. And finally, I can send this image. Okay, I can send this image into my sampler. But because the output of the padding, when we are making some padding, it has two different output, image and mask. So I have two different image, and I should make the offset for both of them. So I decided to send these two image and also the mask into a node for merging the image with alpha. After merging with alpha, I sent the result for creating the offset. So after going to the offset, again, I'm extracting the image and also the mask. And I can send the information into my in-paint model. This node is coming from in-paint node extension, and it can fill the gap without diffusion model. This filling is not coming from diffusion model. And for example, I'm using this model for filling the gap at this step. So I have some result, and sometimes if it can help me, okay, this is the solution. But if it can't help me, I can go to another step. Okay, so and also there is another solution here, because exactly it's dependent to your requirement. Sometimes by having some blending on the edge, we can get a great texture. Okay, and exactly with this node, I can do that. And also this is another output. And if it is working for me, I can use it. So if both these solutions wasn't work fine, I can go to the next step. So in
this
this
is
step,
optional, right? We could theoretically end with this step. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Because it's completely different when you have, for example, leather texture or rock texture. It's very dependent to the
Of the
image,
case, right?
Yeah, exactly, of the case. So here I decided to make some in-painting solution. So it's based on
Of course, you use
STXL.
Focus. Focus has amazing in-paint model.
Yeah, exactly. And it will fill the gap automatically with some in-paint model. And this is the result. So you can see here that it's tried to connect the left part to the right part. And it's most of the time it's useful for me. And this is another node for testing the result and understanding, okay, how the result is working. At this moment, for example, after getting the output, I'm going to Photoshop and do some adjustment on brightness and contrast of this part, and after that it's usable.
So you do need some retouching, right?
Yeah, actually, maybe if I spend more time on this workflow, also I can solve this problem. But you know, it was like a puzzle game for me. I was exploring many different feature extensions, and I tried to design a solution for solving a problem. And it took maybe about 1 month for me to, because, for example, I was not sure that focus is the best solution. So I tried to use all in-painting solutions. And about each node that you can see here, I test many different extensions for each node. So I understand, okay, at this moment, these are the best nodes and solutions. But now it's about 7 or 8 months that I have designed this workflow. Maybe I can update all the nodes with new extensions, but it needs some time for exploring, testing, and comparing. And I was busy on some other workflows. But after this step, I tried to upscale the in-painted image. Okay, and this is a very simple upscaling without using the diffusion model. Okay,
So
so I
this
found,
is not a latent upscale, but ordinary upscale.
yeah, it's very similar to doing upscaling in Photoshop.
Photoshop, yeah. So where you are
Yeah, exactly.
expanding the pixels, not filling the gaps with information, right?
Yes, exactly. So I tried to upscale the image and also upscaling the mask. Okay, so I sent the mask and also upscaled version to some segmentor node. This is very important part. Okay, because already the size of the image at this step is 4,208 in 3,000. Okay, and
Which
this
is
is
pretty
a,
good enough.
yeah, and actually it's not necessary to process the parts of the image that are not generated with AI. So I was looking to find a solution for detailing and only focusing on the parts that is generated with AI. So it can save time for processing. So I found that using the mask segmentation from Impact Pack is the best solution to defining and make some segmentation based on the masked area. After that, it break the selected part into some other image. You can see it here. Okay, maybe I should find some arrangement. Okay, by the way, so these are some segments, and I am processing these segments with detailer that again coming from Impact Bag. And this is one of the most favorite node that I like to work with that. And finally, it's trying to mix the result with original image. So this part is coming from my original input, and it tried to only mix the diffusion part with the original image. And also, finally, there are a little problem, because if you check, there will be a seam here in this part and also in this part. So I decided to make some other step for creating some offset inside the image. So one of them is here and one another is here. Excuse me. Yeah, let me show you.
Yeah.
this area and this area, and all and you can calculate everything with calculator to find the exact position. So by writing some expression and I was able to exactly calculate that what will be the exact position of the sim. So I made two circle. Let me show you these nodes. Okay. For example.
Yeah, this is the node for making masks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's trying to make a circle, but in this position.
Uh-huh.
For calculating the position of the mask, I used some expressions that I write here. So I found the position. So one of the positions is here, and sometimes it's visible, but for example, in this image, it's not visible. Oh, excuse me. I'm not sure, but I should. Yes, here. Yes. Exactly, it's here, but in this image is not visible. And also I have another mask. This is another mask. They are generating similar mask, okay? But I used another node for flipping them. And after flipping and offsetting the output, I was able to get image like this. So I have to circle exactly into position. Again, I sent the circles as the mask. And this is in segment preview. And again, I process them for removing those small lines. So it's about using and writing expressions, understanding that how the diffusion model is working, about inpainting solutions, about mixing the original image with inpainted image, making some smart masking, and optimizing the detailing step, and many other things. So
everything
I
is
learned.
about problem solving. You are actually working the workflow to solve some problems.
Yeah, exactly. And it helped me to understand and figure out that how many different options can I have.
Exactly.
It was very important for me. Yes.
Yeah, I believe you. But yeah, you also have another workflow which is gaining attraction lately, and
Yeah.
I find it like it's magic. I mean, I don't understand how you're doing this, um, but can you guide us through? I mean, look at this, people. You have an input image of an empty space, and
Mhm.
now you have interior designers trying to figure out what to do with this space. And then you just put an image in the workflow, write a prompt, and voila, you got your vision. So Amir, this is a work of art. So can you guide us very briefly what's going on in this workflow?
Yes. Uh, Actually, in this workflow, again, I designed some input node for getting my image, and I'm trying to create some different latent for using with inpainting, and also some patches for my model. Also, I'm using the Ella, and it's very great for SD 1.5. And here
Ella,
is,
can you explain what is Ella?
yeah, you know, about SD3 or Flux, okay? They are very powerful models because they can understand your prompt much more better than SD 1.5 or SDXL. And they are using a new encoding text technology with the name of T5.
Right. Yeah.
So Ella is a solution for encoding your prompt with the T5 technology, but for SD 1.5.
So this is like a translating model, right? So it translates your natural language into language that
Yeah.
Stable Diffusion 1.5 models understand. And the thing is that 1.5 models understand words like tags. So room, empty room, chair, bed, and that kind of stuff. With T5 model, you can actually write, we have a gorgeous room with a bed and chairs and with tables. The textures on the walls are blah, 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 blah. So the Ella translates your language into the 1.5 Stable Diffusion model's language.
Yeah, exactly. And so, because normally, for example, if you want to write some prompt for a Stable Diffusion 1.5, you should write your prompt like tags. Okay, for example, high quality, comma, professional, comma, bedroom, comma, one girl, comma, one bed. Okay, and this is how the clip text encoder can understand your prompt when you're working with SD 1.5. But actually, in this workflow, I used Ella for encoding my prompt. It's
So
very
right
important.
now, in this part of workflow, we're just dealing with prompts, right?
Yeah, and it's very important.
Mhm.
Yes, it's very important. And also, oh, I forgot another thing. Normally, in a Stable Diffusion, clip text encoder, I told you, is not working fine. Also, this is another great solution for encoding text in SD 1.5. So this is extension. You can install that on your Comfy UI, and after that, you can download and use this with L model. Also, exactly, you can use this with L model in STXL and also Flux for improving the text encoding. Okay, but also it's working with a Stable Diffusion. So one time I'm making some conditioning by this clip text encoder, and one another time with Ella. And after that, here I'm using conditioning concate for merging these two conditioning that are
So
coming
you're
from my
you're you're
prompts.
mixing the prompts together, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I figure out that it has a great impact.
Yeah.
Yeah. After that, here I made my solution for using the control net. And for example, I customize my node for accepting some other parameter for analyzing. So I edit the code of this custom node,
Are
and
those
I'm
are
sending.
your custom nodes available publicly?
No, actually, it is not at this moment, uh, because maybe I will try to run this workflow as a service on the
Of
web.
course,
And
yes.
yeah,
I mean,
still I'm not
this
sure
is
about that.
this is a high quality workflow which people can actually make lots of money out of it, and you definitely should monetize it.
I hope it will be happen for me, because actually financially now I am passing a hard time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. After that, here I have some IP adapter solution, because if I want to transfer the uh, IP adapter into my workflow, I can turn it on or off. And also, let me tell you, it's very, very important for all the guys that are working with Comfy UI. Please try to use the context big RG3 and exactly design your workflow with this architecture. Because if you want to turn it on or off some option, it's very, very easy to do that. And all the things are working with this any switch that is coming from RG3. So if normally this input will be on, pass it to the number 2. And for the other option, pass it to the number 1. So if you turn these parts on, okay, it will be inside your workflow. if you turn it off, so it's very useful. So I decided it's my suggestion.
So what's the difference between using this technique and just, disabling the group of nodes?
It's much more easy to work. Okay, and after that, for example, because during designing a workflow, we should test and experiment with many different numbers, parameters, and options. One time you should test all of your numbers when the IP adapter is turned on or when it's turned off, because your numbers will be changed. They are affecting, all of them are fighting inside the unit. They are fighting inside the unit for getting the attention. And I should make a good balance inside the unit for getting a good result. This is how
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. So
And
what's the next group node? Node group. Power pay.
yeah, and also it's very easy to turn it on or off. And yes, it's very useful. Another thing that here I'm using is the power paint, and it's for inpainting inside the stable diffusion. This model, Power Paint V2, only working with SD 1.5, but it's amazing. Really. Just try to use that and you will be surprised. It's very powerful. And for example, here we have some function. You can select that you want to do image outpainting, object removal, shape guide, or text guide.
Is this your node or is this a node from a group of nodes?
It's coming from BrushNet extension.
BrushNet, okay.
Yeah,
I've
really.
never seen it, I've never used it, so this is very interesting to me.
Yeah, it's very powerful. So sometimes I'm using, sometimes I'm not using that. And yes, this is the output. This is the output of my image. And here
And
also,
this is it.
yeah,
You
and
sounded so easy.
uh, I more than 4 months, I test many different solutions for making this workflow. More than 4 months.
Wow.
Yeah, because I was not sure that what is the solution. What should
Yeah.
I do to getting a good result? But I had a target. It was my target, and after experimenting and investing my time on that, I was able to do that. And I'm sure that it's able for everybody, but we should stay focused.
Yeah.
And finally, I used these two LoRa. They are very useful for adjusting my brightness inside the unit. So because if
Why do you have it on minus 50%?
yeah, because it's dependent to the LoRa
Oh
type.
yeah,
For
it's a
example,
slider, right?
yes,
Yeah.
brightness adjustment B1.5. So for making some brightness, you should use the minus value in this LoRa. But in this LoRa, for making the brightness, you should use the plus value.
Yeah.
So if I turn them off, it's not working. And also dynamic threshold extension is very useful for controlling the CFG. Align your step is very important. Selecting the correct sampler is very important. And also this node that is coming from Inspire pack is great. It's a great sampler. And just let me tell you a secret. Okay. Because, for example, when you're working with normal samplers, you are adjusting your denoise.
Yeah.
But in advanced sampler, you can adjusting the start at a step. So for example, here I have 100 step. Okay.
Yeah.
And if I increase the start at a step, for example, 20 or 22, until step 22, it will try to keep the image as the input, and
Yeah.
it will keep the structure of the image much more better than working with denoising amount.
And
I
we'll
know
start
that,
adding, it will start adding noise at the step 20, yeah?
yeah, and this is the difference between using denoising or using the denoising with this technique. This is 99% similar to denoising amount, but it's different. It's a little different, and sometimes it can help you to inject more information from your image into the unit.
Mhm. And
So
it's super fast. Which GPU are you using?
RTX 3090 Ti.
3090 with 24 gigs of VRAM, yeah?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's
with
super
24.
fast. It's super fast.
But my steps are 100.
Yeah,
It's
it's
the highest.
100 steps.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's a
it's
lot.
necessary.
Yeah,
We have, as you know, we have many different samplers,
yeah,
ancestral and and unancestral samplers.
yeah, yeah,
And STE samplers, all the STE samplers are unancestral. And with this kind of sampler, if we increase the step number, we can get a better result.
yeah,
But for
yeah.
example, if I use the DPM2M, increasing the steps will not make a huge difference
Oh
for
yeah,
me.
3M samplers are pretty relatively new. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, 3M,
I
no,
mean
I
they
think
came out at least as I know about what in the end of this year.
uh I'm not sure, but I think it's more. I'm not sure at this moment.
Okay,
I
yeah.
know about the plus models
Uh-huh.
that they are very new, but about the 3M STE, I'm not sure. And also using the align your step scheduler.
I don't know this one. Is this something that you should download separately?
Uh,
Or is
no,
it
you can.
included in the node?
No, actually, it's a default node. And
Oh,
here is the node, align your steps scheduler. Okay.
okay.
Normally, if you want to use that, you should implement and design a sample custom node.
Yeah,
Okay. So
yeah.
if you do that, you can implement align your step. But inside the normal case sampler, there is not any scheduler for align your step.
Yeah.
There is not. So you should design your custom sampler, or you can use the Inspire pack. And
Uh-huh.
it's very great. Just let me tell you something. Okay. Uh,
We only have
Let
about
me,
7 minutes.
okay. So let me change my latent into the one and write another prompt. Uh, but for
And you're
writing the
keeping your
prompt,
prompts very simple.
uh, yes,
But
just a
you could
minute.
you could go above like 75 tokens or not.
Uh, Wait, please. Okay. So, for example, showing the hands in a Stable Diffusion 1 had many problem. Yeah.
Yeah,
And most of the time we will received some extra fingers or with
exactly. The formations, yeah.
yeah, and some deformation. But with these settings, this is SD 1.5. This is not
Yeah,
SDXL
yeah,
or other uh, solutions. Still, there is a little problem. I can fine tune the parameters exactly for generating the prompt. Okay, but this image that is coming from SD 1.5, I think is good. It's sharp, crisp, and unfortunately here now I can see some problem, but
yeah. There are
I
issues, of
fine-tuned
course.
exactly these parameters with align your step, and it was able to generate very, very good hands.
All right,
Yeah.
perfect. Okay.
And
So
also,
yeah,
just another tips,
yeah.
maybe it will be useful for others. In the upscaling, I'm suggesting to use the segmentation control net.
Mhm.
It's very important, I think, because it can understand that what is the context of the image, and when it's trying to process that, it will add the details that is related to your context. Oh, it's all.
Yeah.
So if you have any note or comment, please let me know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Maybe
not
I can stop
now.
my screen, yes?
Sorry?
Can I stop my share screen?
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay, great.
Okay, all right. Yeah, Amir, so thank you so much for this presentation. It's gorgeous. It's a piece of art as I see it. And I'm sure that a lot of my followers, my viewers will
Oh,
appreciate
I appreciate it. Thank you.
your explanation and going deep. And obviously, you're very, very passionate about the Comfy workflows, and you know what you're doing. So I will definitely follow you, and I will definitely expose your further works. And again, congratulations for an amazing and inspiring workflows.
Thank you. Thank you. Really, it's your kind, and I'm very happy to see that these are interesting for others.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
So
Because,
I
sometimes I'm asking myself that why I am working 14 hours per day on Comfy UI, making 1,000 tests per day for exploring, finding parameters. Am I stupid? Is it
definitely,
useful?
definitely
But
not.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I hope that this highlight will help you out and attract some opportunities for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you again, Amir. Thank you for participating in this interview and show of a workflow. And yeah, I hope we'll chat soon again.
Yeah, I'll be happy. Yes, for
All
sure.
right. Thank you again, Amir. Bye
Thank
bye.
you for your time and appreciate it. Have a great time. Hope
You
to
too.
see you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.